I didn't, I didn't actually mean to stop the recording. I hit the wrong button. Well, here we are. Nothing has changed. I just hit the wrong button. It's very easy to forget to save this game. Get shock-armed, idiot. Get shock-armed, idiot. Hang on, how much damage did that do? Messages log. Combat. 11. Let's see, the shock arm does 1 to 6 damage. Per each level of the attacking droid, which means that was a level 2 droid. Sick. Oh. Get shock on, idiot. Remains. Oh God, can I please have some armor? Get shock arm, idiot. Weapon upgrades are also significantly different in this game. You have a lot more freedom with it. You can upgrade nearly anything. And there are different kinds of upgrades. So that ion cell is an energy cell, and there are a bunch of different energy cells that can be applied to a bunch of different swords. This containment field blocks access to the fuel lines below. There seems to be no way to open it. This fuel line deposits fuel into docked starships. Since no ships are currently docked at the Paragas facility, it is sealed. There appears to be some sort of metal case lying inside the fuel pipe, but you can't make it out. The droid maintenance area has been sealed by the emergency lockdown. However, new programming has been introduced to keep it from opening even if the lockdown is cancelled. There's no way to shut down the field that you can see from this terminal. This means that anyone inside the facility is effectively cut off from the hangar bay. Within the past day, a series of explosions within the Paragas mining facility has enacted an emergency lockdown. Someone has sliced into the fuel depot computers and created a phantom fuel leak, sealing off the area with force fields to contain the blast. It looks as if someone has been using the lockdowns to systematically isolate sections of the facility. Open emergency hatch on Paragas administration level. Logout. Help, I've been assassinated. I'll be fine. He'll be fine.
So, how long have you been a Jedi? Must be tough. You know, no family, no husband.
No tougher than enduring your false sympathy while you're staring at my chest.
Hey, I wasn't trying to... Hey, what do you know? A little cargo cylinder came through.
It looks like it, but it's strange he didn't contact us on the comm.
If he got the turbo lifts working, then we should have a clear run to the hangar.
The turbo lifts are locked down manually, so I had him open the emergency hatch.
Wait. Don't tell me you're taking that hatch down into the mining tunnels. Are you?
That's
that explosion I heard came from below. There's probably nothing down there except superheated rock and collapsed blast tunnels. You'd be an idiot to go down there.
Maybe, but it's the only way out, and it's better I risk my life than yours.
You're either really brave or really crazy, or both. All right, I'll try to monitor things from
And
up
you're
here.
gonna fall for
Be
me
careful.
so
The only thing
hard.
moving down there is likely to be mining droids, so don't be playing hero too hard. Not that I care what happens to you or anything. I just don't want to be trying to get off this rock by myself.
Got it. See you soon.
I'll keep the comm link open. I may be able to guide you through the tunnels from up here. Don't know if the signal will hold if you get too deep, though.
I have a conflict. My canon for Hana is that she is a very quiet and soft-spoken person, especially since the war. But it's a quiet intensity that you don't want to cross. So that's why when I'm talking as Hana, I use a softer, higher
Can you read
voice. Yeah, for a minute, barely. There's a lot of static.
There's a lot of interference down there. Probably
Doesn't really
caused by
matter
that
what you say.
explosion. Still, it looks like there's a route down to the Paragas fuel depot. If the passages haven't collapsed, that explosion knocked out most of the sensors. There should be an emergency crate in the next room. Watch yourself. There's a lot of droid broadcasts in that area, but I can't pin them down.
I'll be careful, and if you detect anything, signal me.
Will do. And be careful down there.
She has a very, very strong focus.
Find the emergency supplies?
Yeah, looks like there's some clothes in here.
Damn it. I mean, good. Good to hear. No sense in you running around half naked. It's distracting. I mean, for the droids. Look, there may be some survey gear and a safety harness inside the crate, too. The miners wear them when staking claims on the asteroids. The survey gear is
I
designed to spot
highly
and protect you
encourage
against
anyone
sonic
who's
mines.
really into this relationship to look up
Safety harness would be helpful if you
Silver
tried
Knight
to
on
disarm.
Tumblr, the Atten X Exile. I love her characterization of them.
Yeah, it's like a military-issue energy shield, except it's designed to protect the miners against lasers and heat. Should work against the droid mining lasers. It won't last forever, and certainly not against multiple laser hits. But it may buy you some time if you get ambushed by a battalion of droids.
Sounds useful. How do I use it?
Just equip it on your...
We already know how.
Just one more thing. I've narrowed down some of the ID signals, and if the numbers are right, you're sharing those tunnels with a battalion of mining droids.
Any advice on taking out these droids?
Well, these are construction models. They shoot like a moisture farmer militia. Since they rely on ranged weapons, get in close with a melee weapon and start bashing them. In close combat, the guy with the vibroblade has the edge over the guy with the rifle, droid or not. Otherwise, just drill them from a distance. If they're not shielded, that is.
I'll do that. Anything else?
There's gotta be some central controller down there. See if you can find a terminal by the main access shaft. That'd be governing intelligence.
We really don't know why Atten was here. It is pure chance as far as we know. You could make the argument that he was after you. I doubt it. For many reasons that we'll learn later. Actually, I really do need to put on these clothes. I kind of forgot that I was naked.
Watch where you step. I'm picking up a lot of sonic mines down there. Don't run unless you have to. It makes them harder to spot. If you have any skill with demolitions, you might be able to recover them and use them against the droids. That is, if the mines don't get you first. If you have survey gear or a safety harness, put them on. They'll make spotting and disarming the sonic charges a little easier.
Why are there so many charges down here?
Those mining droids, especially the excavator models, are designed to arm and set sonic charges for mining. Chances are if they still had charges after they went rogue, then they may have set them to try and kill the miners. And you. If you see one of those excavators, watch out. They may use their undeployed charges as projectiles.
Understood. I forget if I have any demolition skill. Yay! This post-nasal drip is gonna kill me. Hi, buddy. Reactivate the droid. And 335. Dang it, that's not enough. Well, let me put it in patrol mode. And optimize the weaponry. Ah, my boy! Stop hitting me. I cheated my way into a lot of parts on my Switch save. Whoop. So I fixed up that droid perfectly. And he made a lot of headway. I think he just had his bad dice rolls in this case. Oop. I know. It is wise using my limited force power on this remote. Because it will heal the others. One of the cheats is invincibility, which Hana doesn't need so much, but there is a character later who a stiff breeze would knock him over.
Hey, watch out. That explosion has superheated the tunnels ahead. That steam will cook the skin off your bones. If you can find a mining energy shield, switch it on.
Which I
It should
just did.
protect you against the heat if you move quickly enough.
Understood. Oh, shice. 6. Three. Let's see. So, in brief, these are the brand new feats we didn't have before. Jedi Sense. I don't remember if this is there. Jedi develops a connection to the Force that allows him to better sense incoming attacks. This is what Kreia just gave me. Dueling is there. Close combat. This gives you a bonus if you're using a blaster within close range. Otherwise, you want to switch to a sword. Regenerate force points. Pretty much what it says on the tin. Class skill computer use. So you can do any skill that is cross-class. This will turn it into a class skill. So I can turn computer use, security, and stealth into class skills. Dual strike. This gives you a bonus if you and your allies are attacking the same guy. Finesse, lightsaber. This gives you a bonus to your lightsaber attacks at either dexterity or strength, whichever is highest. Same with melee. Mobility. Oh. Through rigorous... I wasn't actually aware of this one. Through rigorous training, the character has increased the reaction time and speed. Moves 10% faster than normal. Regenerate HP. Stealth run. Lets you run while in stealth. Unarmed specialist. You automatically get this. You're better at fighting without a weapon. Precise shot. This feat increases the damage done with ranged weapons by +1. This feat also applies a -2 penalty to any attempt to deflect the blaster bolt. Bonus is automatic whenever a ranged weapon is equipped. This feat doesn't apply to grenades or thrown lightsabers. Everything else we had before. Let's see. Actually, what would be most useful here is Gearhead 2, but I can't have that yet. I'm gonna add caution. Up my demolitions. I don't really get much use out of force powers here, so I guess I'm just planting the seeds for future me. What's my bonus to demolitions? 6. Beautiful. Is that repair droid still there? No. This game functionally has 2 terraces. 2 places where you can't leave at any point. At any point. You have to follow them from A to B to C. You can't just take your ship and go. And that is Paragus here. And Telos, which we will be at once we leave Paragus. Which will be longer than you think. I did say this game was bigger, and it is. It's significantly bigger. There are still 4 planets that you go to, with the addition of a Dantooine, in this case Telos. You can go to Telos at any time. Get fucked, idiot.
on.
If I had stealth, I could go to that right to that computer and switch it off. There aren't just mining droids down here. There are sensor balls too.
Sensor? It must be maintenance drones. Watch out. Those little pests will try to repair the mining droids if you don't gun them down first. Still, it's odd they're still active after the explosion. They don't have the same shielding as the mining droids. Be careful of those droids. I don't like this.
Understood. Maybe if I'm lucky, I have... Oh, they're not seeing me. Whoop. Check droid schematics. Judging from the droid schematic displays, the droids rely on thermal sensors to detect fuel deposits. You could easily blind them by raising the temperature. Raise the temperature, please. Note that this will also prevent droids from being able to shoot each other if reprogrammed to mine each other. Do you wish to continue? Yes. Because I told them to not hit anybody. Holorecord.
Everybody here?
What's up, Kurta? We're supposed to be sinking fuel siphons into the 3218 asteroid shelf right now.
Forget the siphons. You know that survivor they pulled from the freighter? One of the miners said they served with her on Malachor 5.
Malachor 5? So she's one of the survivors. Or worse, a Mandalorian. So what?
Not a survivor, idiot. She's one of the Jedi from Malachor 5.
If she's one of the Jedi, hell, we can't have her walking around here. Well, I don't know what she'll do.
I thought all the Jedi were wiped out in the Civil War, weren't they?
Guess they missed one. But it gets better. I did some checking, and that bounty on Nar Shaddaa is still live.
What? You want to sell the Jedi to the exchange? Kurta, have you been chewing spice?
Is it crack that you smoke?
Look, you know how big that bounty is? That Jedi's our ticket off this rock.
Gorda, there's no way the officers will go for that. They'll lock us up for sure.
Then we'll improvise.
Someone has taken care to delete the record of this camera being placed. It is not listed on any of the work records. I told them not to mine organics. Cancel. Continue. There, now they're my friends again. I would detonate them so I know that I've scavenged them, but they're my friends. Excuse me, sir. What? Where are these guys' faces? This is weird. Excuse me, sir. Wow, $97. Thanks. Hi, buddy. Please, sir, may I have some parts? What? Oh my god, that's so annoying. See, I already got it. Which is why I usually blow them up. But they're my friends. I love these guys. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. I wonder if I could use that cheat on Marsha, though.
Yeah, I'm picking up some strange readings. What are you doing down there?
What kind of readings?
The containment fields in the mining tunnels are shutting down. You need to get out of there before they vent fuel to the surface of the asteroid through the tunnels.
How much time do I have?
I may be able to keep it contained until you get the turbo lift to the fuel depot, but not for much longer. I'm locking down the turbo lift to the administration section now to keep the blast from spreading. If you've got anything left to do down there, make it quick, because where you are is going to get real hot real soon.
That just means I've reached the point of no return. Much like damn near every other game, it won't. Your actions have consequences, but you'll never face them. It's important to get as much as I can from Paragus, because I can't come back. And that way, I suppose it is a terrace. Step away from the escape pod. Wow, $48. Okay, sweet. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. This has gotta be confusing Shadow. No, Shadow is sound asleep. This blast cylinder appears to have been damaged by the explosion. You can't unlock it, but you may be able to blast it open with a sonic charge. Run away! $47. Hi, maintenance droid. This droid is simply floating, doing nothing. It makes no acknowledging response when you examine it. He's not my buddy. This guy's my buddy. This guy's my body. Wow, $22. Oh, excuse me. Ah. Why did he eat the bee?
pleasure to see you alive, Master, provided my receptors are not off focus. How may I be of assistance?
How do you know me? I'm not your master.
Answer. I am a survivor of the Harbinger, just as you were, Master. With the unexpected termination of my previous master, you are the only organic which I may now serve.
Who was your previous master?
Answer. The captain of the Harbinger, Master. I was in transit to Telos to facilitate communications and terminate hostilities. However, we did not arrive at our intended destination.
Where are you now? What happened?
Irritated answer. Oh, Master, it is such a long, dull story, and not terribly relevant to our current situation.
Why don't you tell me anyway?
Hesitant explanation. That has been the subject of considerable discussion since our arrival here, Master. Many have attempted to claim you and this unit as salvage. I was crudely interrogated concerning our brief history together on board the Harbinger, before its communications, weapons, and engines suffered the cascade failure that disabled the ship.
1 second. Where was I when this was taking place?
Speculation. It is possible you were incapacitated and locked in the well-shielded cargo compartment as the Harbinger was being systematically crippled, Master.
Locked.
Clarification. By locked, I meant sealed, Master. My vocabulator seems to be malfunctioning.
You said I was incapacitated when all this was going on.
Clarification. Yes, Master. No doubt the flurry of destruction on board the Harbinger somehow drugged you into a stupor from which you could not awaken. Most curious.
Drugged? What do you mean drugged?
Placation. Merely a turn of phrase, Master. The implication that your state was due to the result of ingesting large quantities of Juma juice was unintentional. I meant to communicate only that you were somehow rendered unconscious before you were locked securely in the cargo hold.
There, you said locked again. He just corrects himself to sealed. Like.
Clarification. By locked.
How did it get from the Harbinger to here?
Recitation. Following the unusual set of coincidences that led to the cascade failure in the Harbinger's systems, we were boarded by a small freighter with unknown ID codes. It appeared that this freighter had been attacked, and the captain wanted to study it. This freighter appeared to be still spaceworthy. Your cargo compartment was breached, and you were taken on board the freighter shortly before the Harbinger's systems began to go critical. I, too, managed to board the freighter before the Harbinger's destruction. We were most fortunate to have survived, Master.
Any idea what attacked the small freighter?
Evaluation. Master, I do not know. Judging from the damage, it had been attacked by a much larger vessel. And when it attempted to escape the Harbinger with you on board, it was fired on again. Addendum. It does seem odd that such a small vessel has a high probability of attracting the attention of much larger vessels. Not a welcome trait in a freighter, to be sure.
What was this freighter the Harbinger brought on board?
Explanation? I believe it was a smuggler's vessel by the name of the Ebon Hawk. Speculation. As to its purpose, I do not know. Perhaps it was always its intention to play dead, then kidnap you off the Harbinger and rob me of my bounty.
Bounty.
Clarification. By bounty, I refer to your life, Master. It would pain me to see you damaged in any way. That is why the arrival of this
If you don't
Ebon
trust the
Hawk
robot, good.
caused me considerable distress.
Why did the Ebon Hawk come here?
Apology. My memory core cannot provide a clear answer on that point, Master. Suffice to say that once we arrived at this floating rock, our situation became much clearer.
How so?
Explanation. Despite my market value, Master, the miners were far more interested in you. It did not take long for me to ascertain the reason for this. While an HK protocol droid is a valuable piece of property, Jedi are worth much more in certain exclusive markets across the galaxy. Painful admission. I must confess to feelings of inferiority at the speculated difference between my value and the price for your capture. I was forced to remind myself it was not due to a failing of my model or function, but because you were a Jedi.
How did they find out I was a Jedi?
Surprised answer. Why, I told them, Master. You are the exiled Jedi who served with Revan in the Mandalorian Wars, are you not? I hope all that has happened has not been the result of a miscommunication. If so, then the problem lies with the core word databases, which are notoriously spotty.
That information wouldn't have been in core word databases, only in Jedi archives.
Indignant exclamation. Master, I am only a protocol droid, but it is part of my function to know such information and relay it to any interested parties in the interests of terminating any potential hostiles.
Potential hostiles.
Quick clarification. Apparently my vocabulator has suffered some damage, Master. I meant terminating any potential hostilities.
Whoop, one moment. Thank you for your patience. Vocabulary suffered some damage, Master. I see. Go on.
Answer. All that has happened has been because they believe you to be a Jedi, Master. They debated what to do with you as you lay unconscious in the medical bay. One group seemed intent on selling you as property. The other group opposed this.
Then what happened?
3 standard hours after the division between the miners became apparent, accidents began to occur throughout the facility. A result of improper maintenance, I believe. These accidents coincided with the degradation of the mining droid behavioral cores. Crude models are prone to such failures, resulting in murderous rampages. The mortality rate of organics in the facility rose quickly.
So what happened to the rest of the miners?
Many miners began to join you in the medical bay as a cascade of flawlessly timed detonations occurred in isolated gas pockets in the lower levels of the facility. The explosions herded the miners into emergency sections of the station, quickly and efficiently cutting them off from communications and facility control. But sadly enough, not the ventilation systems.
Sadly enough, what do you mean?
You see, the explosions had damaged specific sections of this facility's ventilation systems, causing a slow, lethal buildup of toxic fumes in the dormitory level.
Are you responsible for all this?
Defensive answer. Master, I am a protocol droid, not a well-crafted assassination droid of unrivaled sophistication. To have carried out the actions that took place here would have required an unusual set of skills. It is highly unlikely I possess the knowledge of how to reprogram the memory cores of base worker-class droids into killing machines, let alone to terminate the organics at this facility, utilizing only Aerotech 500 series laser mining drills and explosives fashioned from proton missile cores.
I think you are responsible.
Admission. I cannot and will not attempt to change your mind, Master. I would urge you to consider that your kotor tank treatments may have caused some disorientation.
Do you know who administered sedatives to the Kolto tanks in the medical bay, killing the incapacitated miners?
Conjecture. The administration of a large dose of sedatives over a short period of time would likely prove fatal to miners, although not to a Jedi. For a Jedi, it would simply render them unconscious for ease of transport. Quite inventive.
Inventive? Those miners were murdered.
Answer. I was merely commenting on the idea itself, Master, not the execution of the idea. Though that, too, was inventive. Besides, Master, those miners intended to murder you, or worse. Any complaints they would have at being murdered would be the highest form of hypocrisy.
I had some more questions for you.
Of course, Master. How may I be of assistance?
What are you?
Proud answer. I am an HK series protocol droid master, skilled in transorganic relations and communications. This model has been responsible for the facilitation of communications and termination of hostilities across the galaxy. I am fluent in over 6,000 forms of communication and am also capable of nuances of expression ranging from irony to veiled threats.
Veiled threats.
Clarification. Oh, yes, Master. Sometimes the facilitation of communications and termination of hostilities requires the use of every weapon in one's verbal arsenal. The unspoken threat of violence to a listener's loved ones, or if possible, their entire planet, can effectively break the deadlock in the most stubborn of negotiations.
Looks like camera, like I'm in the office. What's a translation droid doing on Paragus?
Irritated explanation. That question has been looping through my query module with alarming frequency, Master, and no satisfactory answer has been forthcoming. As a result, I have chosen instead to turn my efforts to answering the question as to how I may depart this drifting disaster area as quickly as possible.
What have you determined?
Answer. It is only a matter of time before a ship or freighter docks with the Paragus facility. When that occurs, we shall depart this place forever.
I never said you were coming with me.
Placating retraction. Oh, of course, Master. Please excuse my choice of words. I did not mean to imply that you would have no choice in the matter. Of course, Master.
Have you seen a T3 unit?
Hesitant answer. A T3 utility droid would be a common sight in this facility. It is indeed curious that I have not seen many since my arrival. However, I feel I must inform you that, droid prejudice aside, T3 models exhibit excessive individualism when not routinely memory wiped. This individualism can become such a nuisance that even a droid such as myself is tempted to reduce them to their base components, if not crush them into slag. But enough of my seemingly irrelevant tangent. Where did you leave the droid, Master? That would logically be the best place to look.
This unit was last seen near the hangar.
Answer. Then that would explain why such a T3 unit isn't here, Master. I believe my photoreceptors are functioning adequately enough to verify that.
Maybe you can answer something else for me.
Of course.
I'm looking for a way into the hangar bay.
Pitying answer. Oh, that is unfortunate, Master. The hangar is sealed behind a containment field. It would be impossible to open it.
Then how'd the T3 unit get through it?
Clarifying query. Did the T3 unit go through the door? I regret ignorance of that fact, Master. Although the door could have been opened from the opposite side without much difficulty, a flaw in the emergency lockdown procedure, which the automated systems have most likely corrected.
What about override codes?
Answer. Only the Paragus administration officer would have such codes, Master. If he hasn't already been murdered in an unfortunate accident, then he is trapped in the dormitory section, which has been effectively cut off from the facility by explosives.
If I called through the mining tunnels to get here, there's likely to be other tunnels.
Theory. You could walk across the surface of the asteroid to the dormitory airlock, but such a route would be extremely hazardous, and I do not wish to see you damaged.
Those miners could be hurt or in danger. We need to make sure they're all right.
Warning. Master, continued exploration of this facility may place you in unnecessary danger. I encourage you to return to the medical bay and wait for retrieval from a vessel that is no doubt on the way, even as we continue this pointless conversation.
I'm going to find those miners, and you're going to help me.
Weary resignation. Very well, Master, but there is very little that I can do. You see, the airlock is sealed by a code.
This just keeps getting better. Who's got the damn code?
Correction. Oh, I already possess the code, Master, but I am afraid that it will do you no good.
If you have the code, then give it to me.
Condescending explanation. Master, the console governing the droid maintenance area and the airlock is voice-printed, musing. In the last days of his life, the maintenance officer was quite careful about voice protocols, bordering on paranoid obsession. Conjecture. I suspect once he realized something was wrong in the facility, he voice-locked the droid bay functions. A prudent measure, but in the end, he met the same fate as the rest of the organics.
But you do know the code.
Condescending explanation. Oh, yes, Master. The code is Maintenance Control Voice Print ID R1B5. But unless the maintenance officer speaks the code, it is useless.
Then how can I bypass the voice print?
Answer. Master, you cannot. You are trapped here just as I am. There is nothing to do, except patiently wait for whatever the future has in store for us. Of course,
What's that body?
answer. That is all that remains of the maintenance officer, Master. At the end, he was quite incoherent from the pain, and attempts to facilitate communications with him proved useless. I heard his dying screams as the droids he tended turned on him, mining him like a piece of asteroid rock.
Screams.
Recitation? Oh, yes, Master. The record of his last moments were...
5 droids, burning through the outer door. They're forcing their way into the bay. Please, someone that... Oh no, they're through! Oh, my leg! They're burning through my leg! Oh, stop! Stop, please!
Addendum. His remaining attempts at communication are variations in decibel, Master, ranging from frenzied screams to gibbering inarticulate attempts to beg for his life.
Wait, if you can play back his voice, can't you speak the voice code?
Objection. Master, to commit such an act would be in violation of the ethics programming most droids are believed to possess. I am afraid there is nothing that can be done.
Mimicking voices is rare in protocol droids. What would it sound like if you did speak the command?
Proud answer. Master, I believe my vocabulator is working adequately enough to accommodate your request. A recitation.
Maintenance control voice print ID R1B5.
There. Was that sufficient, Master?
Okay. Can you follow me and say that again?
Alarmed objection. Oh, Master, no. I might inadvertently speak such a command near a console and accidentally unlock something I shouldn't. I was merely speaking such to prove to you that I could. It is a trait I'm quite proud of.
Looks like I'll need to find somewhere to carry your voice there or record it.
Confused query. I am sorry, Master. Were you speaking to yourself?
No, I had some other questions.
Of course.
No I don't. Wow, $39. Oh, sick. As you see, I can break things down instead of selling them if I don't want them. With the protocol droid's help, I finished work on the sonic imprint sensors. I've installed them in the mining droids, but I'm locking up the original here to prevent the other miners from using its ability to record and play back voices to override the droid's voice print protocols.
Greeting. It is a pleasure to see you intact, Master.
Maybe look at me then.
Greeting.
Can you play back the maintenance officer's last words?
Recitation. Addendum.
Wait, if you can play back his voice, can't you speak the code?
Objection.
We've already been through all this.
Proud answer. A recitation. Maintenance control voice print ID R1B5. There. Was that sufficient, Master?
Yes, I think that's all I'll need.
Confused query. I am sorry, Master. Were you speaking to yourself?
Never mind. I'll be going now. If you don't have a high enough intelligence, you can listen to other recordings. You can even go back to the administration level and cobble together maintenance control voice print ID R1B5. But I give myself a high intelligence, actually, so I can... You throw shit at me, I'ma throw shit at you. Bitch. Bother. Oh, yeah. Oh, poor big guy can't get through the dune. I thought there was stuff in here. So smarty. Give me those sweet, sweet points. See, that will take me back up to the administration level.
Maintenance control, voice print ID, R1B5.
Finished the sonic imprint sensor prototype for the mining droids. Everyone knows they need an upgrade. The sensor should allow me to issue voice commands to them rather than manually adjusting their routine each time the mining specifications change. I've been keeping the sensor in the maintenance workshop for the time being. I wanted to test it first by recording and playing back some simple voice commands. Finished my examination of the droids from the Ebonhawk freighter. The T3 unit looked like it had shut itself down. The protocol droid, however, made up for it. It talked my ear off for most of the hour, asking questions about the facility, the personnel, and so on. Still, it wanted to make itself useful, so I put it to work until its master wakes up from the med bay. It seems to have some skills in speaking to droid behavior cores, so... There's been some trouble with some of the mining droids, so I'm signing off. Been speaking to the protocol droid about the Jedi in medbay. I thought they'd all gone away or been killed in the Jedi Civil War. The droid told me that his master's the only Jedi he knows of in all the galaxy. That the Jedi had served in the Mandalorian Wars almost 10 years ago. That would have meant that the Jedi served under Revan for a time. Maybe the Jedi knows what happened to Revan after the end of the Jedi Civil War. Been too busy to enter a log for a while. There's been more and more accidents since that Jedi arrived. The miners are starting to get restless, especially Corda. Corda said the exchange is offering a huge bounty on Jedi Knights and that we can make a fortune if we sell the Jedi to Nar Shaddaa. Security shut down that idea pretty quick. But I don't think Corda and his men are gonna give up that easy. I mentioned the trouble to the Jedi's protocol droid, and he seemed concerned about his master's safety. I told the droid not to worry. The Corda wouldn't... With the protocol droid's help, I made some upgrades to the sonic imprint sensor, using some of the droid's vocabulator subroutines. In addition to its ability to store and record voices, it now has the droid's full array of alien languages, including Basic. Should prove useful as a portable translator. I tried to make sure the protocol unit got some credit for helping fashion it, but the droid refused, saying the work was reward enough. I was thinking of installing the prototype in one of the mining droids as a test, and see what happens.
I wonder if that's... Because I didn't know that. I was wondering if that was part of the restored content mod, because I listened to these the entire time. I listened to every one of these.
When the dock officer reported the droids repairing the Ebonhawk, I installed a voice print ID on the droid console system. Someone ordered them to repair that freighter, but I can't find a trace of the order anywhere. If anyone tries that again, they won't be able to do it from this terminal unless I let them. The voice print should cut any user off from the central functions unless I give the code. The maintenance check on the droids didn't help. If anything, the accidents have increased. Security interrogated me about the droids and they weren't too happy with my answers. I don't understand it though. These aren't combat models. They shouldn't even know how to attack. I can't help but think, what if somebody staged the initial trouble with the mining droids just to get them all sent to maintenance, and then did something to them? I think security's right. Someone's trying to sabotage this facility and they're using the droids to do it. But why?
The system is registering a blast in one of the main fuel lines. The containment field has been activated to keep the explosion isolated within the hangar bay and fuel lines. That would imply the fuel lines connect directly to the hangar bay. If you could get access to the fuel lines, you could bypass the containment field entirely. Although the fuel lines are currently sealed because no ships are docked at the facility, they would open automatically if a ship did arrive. That would mean you'd have to board the docked ship to go through the fuel line to reach the hangar, however, which would be an extreme means of gaining access. So I could go up to administration. I could talk to Atten. I think I've done that once before. The turbo lift of the administration level is programmed to automatically open only when entering administration from the fuel depot. But I cannot go to the mining tunnels. Because I blew it up. The airlock door has been sealed from inside this level, as if to prevent someone from coming in from the outside. The comm system circuit has been severed with a laser drill, and there is too much interference in the asteroid rock to allow you to contact any other level via comlink. This basically gives me the same... Ooh! This fuel line deposits facility, it's sealed. There appears to be a damaged T3 unit dumped into the fuel line. It may be your missing T3 unit. There's also some sort of metal case next to the T3 unit, but you can't make it out. It may have been deliberately dumped down there. It's a shame I can't turn off those mines. Run! Why would they do that? In order to exit the airlock, you will need the spacesuit stored in the locker in this room. It should equip automatically when you select the outer airlock. If I'd gotten to that point in KOTOR 1 yet, you'd be able to see the spacesuit. Thankfully, they made some modifications to it in KOTOR 2 so that I'm moving faster. In KOTOR 1, it is long and stressful. Especially the first time I had to use it. I gave Rena a fear of walking through space, just to reflect how oogie I felt.
That's about time. I lost your signal after you left the mining tunnels. Now you're coming in clear.
Except I'm picking you up on the exterior of the facility, on the asteroid's surface. That can't be right.
Hi, Atten. Really? Maybe you should look up.
Huh? What are you doing out there?
I'm just taking a relaxing walk.
You're crazy, even for a Jedi. Look, you need to get out of there, quick.
Something wrong?
What little
Oops.
is left of the facility's venting systems have
think
gone
that's actually
active,
what I said.
most likely from the explosions in the mining tunnels. They're venting Paraga's fuel deposits into space through the exterior vents, right in your path.
Why are the vents placed so close to the exterior scaffolding?
That's just it. They're not supposed to be active when the airlock's opened, and not without the safety measures kicking in. The vents look like they've been purposely rerouted to vent the gases to the exterior, and only in the last few minutes. It's almost as if... Now what now? I don't believe this. There's a ship coming in, sending a docking code. I have a bad feeling about this.
And that is the Harbinger. You know, the ship I was on. And this is Darth Sion. We'll learn more about him as the game goes on. The ambient mood lighting on Republic bridges is really a choice. Yes, we're on a gas station. This is a space gas station.
He has come.
That's not in the non-restored content mod. I did not fucking see that on my Switch. Huh, I just took damage. Well, isn't that interesting? We have an actual save. Instead of just quick saving. Cloud save? No. Sure. Sick. Now the fire suppression system got active, and I can't even make it at the dormitory section. I watched the turrets turn their carbonite freeze rays on Mabon before we even got halfway across the room. Fortunately, their range doesn't seem to go beyond the room itself, so I was able to remain safe in the corridor. But I didn't have any ranged weapons to take them out from a distance, and I didn't have a stealth field generator to sneak across the room either. I tried unlocking the storage room door to see if there were any cold-resistant items or grenades I could use, but the door was sealed from the lockdown. I don't know enough about security systems to open it, and I didn't have a sonic charge to blow the door open. Still, as long as the droids don't make it into this section, I should be alright. Corpse. With no face. Why did the droids take everybody's face? Whoop. Back to the main menu. Upgrade. Upgrade item. Environment underlay. And I can't put on the heat shielding. There's also a biorestorative underlay possible. Armor and robes. Okay. Okay, so there's no overlays that I can assign to this because there's nothing nothing at this time that applies to armor and robes. Yes, I will get a Jedi robe later. Yes, I can upgrade it. Oops. I didn't want to do that. Yay! Pass that dice roll. Yay! Dang it, it moved. Okay, I'm just gonna avoid that for right now. Oh, I already did the cameras. Okay. Oh, right. Wow, $50. I get taken to jail later, and they don't take my money, which is nice. Whoop. This hololog looks like it needs to be plugged into a holo reader in order to play back the contents. The refresher is Star Trek for bathroom. So why is this a sink? It's because they're cowards and don't want to computer animate a toilet. And that's my hot take for the century. I'm lying. I'll have more hot takes. $65. And more faceless people. Like, I get the point that they're supposed to be dead, but these people all died because they suffocated. Not because they burned, not because they suffered something that would cause them to lose a face, but they suffocated. Wow, $65. Why does nobody here have a face? Except, like, the maintenance officer. I kind of like how these big droids just go all Jeb Bush. Stop hitting me. Ooh, remains. Give me them sweet, sweet, dang it. Wow, $22. I was hoping for parts. See, he doesn't have a face, but they give him a face. Wait, what's that journal entry? Oh, okay. Ooh. So anyone can wear any implants in this game as long as they have the right high enough constitution? Which is definitely the kind of thing you want to put points into when you have the chance. Me, I'm prioritizing intelligence for the time being. All hail the time being. There are some things I need high intelligence for. And it's possible to boost your constitution with other items. Exchange casual gloves. Sweet. Ugh, I used all my deadly ones on doors? Alright.
This may be the beginning of a long record. It's about an hour after the facility suffered the explosion that triggered the emergency lockdown. Just finished helping the dock officer set up the transmission relay. Not much signal strength, but it's better than nothing. The transmission gives the code to open the turbo lift when or if help arrives. Code is a simple group of 5 numbers. 3, 17, 13, then the next 2 numbers are...
Sir, couldn't we contact the medbay? Maybe the Jedi's awake. If so, she could help us.
No good. The link to the medical computer was severed from the hub, just like the administration console. Even if the Jedi wakes up, how would we get the dormitory turbo lift code to her? Without it, the turbo lift to the administration level is locked down. We just took an inventory of our supplies. We've got enough emergency rations in the dormitories to last almost a month. But with all the problems in the facility, I don't know how long we'll last. I wish we could contact the Jedi. Maybe she could... No. She's still floating in that damn tank. Someone's played us for fools. And since Kotor and his crew aren't locked in here with us, it's pretty clear who it was. If I ever catch up with that Mandalorian-loving son of a... At least the air scrubbers are still working, even
That's
though they're tied into the...
a
what's happening to the
huge
ventilation system?
accusation to levy. Like how he fell over and then got back up. I also like how these people are not in the position that their dead bodies are in, just the location. Okay, this is gonna be Alien. Work report. It has been 2 days since the broken Jedi came to the facility. Work efficiency is down and fuel is backing up in vents, waiting for processing. The fight frequency increases. Korda and his crew think we should take the Jedi, then split the many credits by selling the Jedi in exchange. Tried to convince me to join them. I want nothing to do with the exchange. They are like a big, violent family that do terrible things to outsiders who deal with them. But Korda does not care. In my mind, it is better letting a Jedi go wherever a Jedi wants to go. When Jedi get mad, they start big wars, set galaxy on fire. I had a careful, inoffensive talk with Korda and asked him not to make trouble with the Jedi. I remind him that we were ordered to leave Jedi alone, and we should follow orders or facility fall apart. My words had much sense, but Korda got all angry and human face, then said the facility is going to fall apart anyway. After talk, I listened to him talking to the maintenance officer on comm. Then something else. Why do they do this? I am thinking of repeating this to the administration officer, but that will cause more trouble, cause more inefficiency. What do we do? I heard last comm talk with Korda to maintenance officer. Maintenance officer said he had a big plan for disabling station, leaving us all trapped here while he and Korda could escape with the Jedi. I am still afraid of Korda, who's big, loud, and unreasonable, so I went to the maintenance officer, who's smaller, more sensible, more Celestin. I asked him why he made trouble with Korda. Then maintenance officer cracked eyebrow hair at me, pretend not to know what talking about, saying he'd not speak to Korda at all. Why human lie? Why all human lie? Can't wait any longer. Must...
Ears always were too big, CN. Come on, if the maintenance officer comes through on the explosions, these dorms are gonna be filling up soon. And shut that damn data pad off and throw it down the refresher. We managed to get to the dormitories. We should be safe here. We've been trying to use the holo-transmitter to beam a transmission to the administration level to end the lockdown.
Remember how the silver droid could do voices?
Been severed from the main hub.
That's all.
Everyone thinks we should try to evacuate on our own as soon as possible. But there's no way to break the dormitory seals from the inside. I'm going to keep sending distress calls in the meantime. We've been trying to find a way to circumvent the lockdown and get to our hangar bay, but so far, no luck. The situation's worse than we thought. Even if we get out of here, we can't shut down the fuel depot force fields if a fuel leak was detected. If so, the only way off this asteroid is if a ship docks with us. But the only connection to the docking platform is on the administration level, and we can't get up to the docking bay while we're trapped here. I only hope someone survived the explosion in the mining tunnels. If not, then we're stranded here. Unless our transmission reaches a passing ship, or a Telos freighter. Managed to use the holo-transmitter here as a crude relay to beam short-burst transmissions outside the Paragas facility. With any luck, the transmission will carry beyond the asteroid field. We've set the emergency transmission on automatic playback. We're using a simple military flash code to transmit the code to the turbolift's, so maybe our rescuers can get down to the dormitory when they reach the station. Without those turbolift codes, our rescuers wouldn't be able to get here from the administration level. And without those codes, we wouldn't be able to get to the administration level if we found a way out on our own. The messages are short distress calls only, since we can't get much signal strength. It's pretty weak. So unless a ship is actively searching the area, it might be a long time before a ship picks up the message. After all, who would be scouring frequencies way out here looking for trouble?
The transmission gives the code to open the turbolift when or if help arrives.
Military flash code.
Code is a simple
Dot
group
is
of
1,
5 numbers.
dash is
3,
10, X is
17,
5.
13, then the next 2 numbers are...
We don't need to remember this. Our high intelligence takes care of it. We are going to be coming back this way in a minute. Yeah! You may be thinking, what a waste of grenades. No. Damn girl, your aim sucks. Whoops. Your aim sucks. Right. Level up. Yeah! Gearhead 2! Wait a minute. Cancel. Back. If I'm getting Gearhead 2, then I don't need to increase my security, but I am going to do my computer use. Demolitions. A lot of the rest of those will become kind of moot points once I get Freya. Okay, breakdown items. Here I am in the lunchroom. I swear they're never gonna get around to fixing the ventilation systems, and if the food processor's back up again, the next time the fumes start flooding the mess hall, I'll be dead rather than just nauseous. I'll keep the breath mask here, just in case we have a repeat incident. Which is how I would have survived the dorms if I didn't have the computer spikes. I also probably could have used all these chemicals to make antidotes. Don't throw things at me. I'm nice. I didn't see how many credits that was, otherwise I was gonna do another joke. Wow, $23 or something like that. Got another lecture today about contraband. Security hasn't started doing spot checks of our quarters yet, so my cash in the lower bunk in my room in the eastern dorm should be safe. You won't even know it's there unless you look for it. Corda came around again asking if I had any special cargo to sell, but I was getting a bad feeling about how he was asking, so I stayed quiet about my stash. I'm gonna keep that blaster I smuggled from Telos and a few grenades here, just in case things here get rough. Only benefit to having a room farthest from the door is that it should give me enough time to dump the contraband if security does a surprise inspection. Love how people will spell out all of their secrets in their little journal that they carry around all the time. Oh, I don't want to go through that door yet. I think. Maybe it's that door. I want to get his good shit. I forget which one he said, so I'm just gonna... Who care? Yay, I'm right. Oh. Sorry, that's the plot door. I'm not going there yet. Oop. Items are generally a lot more random in this game than the first one. It's all about dice rolls. Failure. Incorrect code. Something's wrong. You entered the correct code of the turbo lift, but the console's rejecting it. Someone must have changed the code after the lockdown.
Almost didn't make it out of the dormitory section before the lockdown, you murklack. You're cutting a little close, aren't you?
Yes, a regrettable miscalculation on my part. I'm contacting you because I'm picking up a subspace transmission from within that level. Is that your doing?
No, they must be trying to use the old relay system to send an emergency signal. I doubt they know what's really going on.
Hey, this turbo lift's locked down.
Try the code again, and don't worry about the miners and their transmission. By the time help arrives, we'll be all the way to Nar Shaddaa.
Oh, they won't be leaving the dormitories. The explosion within the tunnel has damaged the ventilation systems, causing breaches in the core exhaust conduits.
What? That's going to kill them all!
Not all of them, but I'm sending a number of mining droids to your location right now to correct that problem.
Corda, this turbo lift's locked down. The sequence isn't working.
Keep trying it! You! Why are you doing this? Why me?
You? It was never about you. The Jedi is all that interests me. But then you had to ruin everything by revealing her identity and then trying to harm her. And that I cannot allow.
Statement. You are a risk, Corda. You are impulsive, crude, and soon, deceased.
Mocking query. Corta, are you dead yet? Smug statement. I believe I forgot to mention that I reversed the turbolift codes, in case you managed to get this far.
But before I do that, I don't know what was in this miner's log. Whoop, that's not the right door. Oh, that's the broken one. Arg. Decoding. Oh, it's Corda's.
What did you want to talk to me about? I have to suit up and drill the 3219K asteroid claim within the hour, so talk quick.
I heard you had plans for the Jedi, about selling her to the exchange.
Yeah, but security already set their piece on that, didn't they? Nobody's getting sold to anyone.
Are they? I've seen the logs you've been accessing. Maybe the two of us could work something out.
It doesn't matter what we work out. We wouldn't make one hyperspace jump before what's left of the Republic was on us.
If you have a way off this station, I can cover our tracks. And ensure the Republic is not alerted to our presence.
Well, I may know someone. Works this system on special jobs. He may want to know details, but I might be able to arrange transport.
I've seen the logs. I know you've already asked him and given the details. Once he agrees, I can handle the rest.
Handle the rest? Like how?
When the time comes, I'll contact you via comlink. Maintenance out.
Since when did the maintenance officer grow some horns?
No, I'd never seen that one, but that's most likely because I honestly didn't notice the item. And I thought, I'm this close to the end already, I'll just go. So I don't think that might have been restored content.
I have felt a disturbance. Our enemy is here. We must leave at once.
Enemy?
The one that fired upon the Ebon Hawk as we attempted to rescue you. And he will not let us go without blood being shed.
Wait, who is this enemy?
The story is a long one, and time is short. Come, we must go, and quickly.
Alright, let's go.
We need to make our way to the docking area on this level. I fear the airlock has already opened, and if so, we must be on our guard. If we cannot reach the Ebon Hawk, Then we must find a way to escape on the ship that has docked here.
Kreia has joined your party. When she is in your active party, her mentor special ability gives everyone a bonus to earned experience points. And she is a Jedi Consular. Notice how repair is a class skill, but that's a personal headcanon of mine. She's also the only non-player character who has persuade, like ever. There's also something I want to point out to you. That dark side power. Why does she have dark side powers? Force camouflage. Kreia, or Jedi Watchman, or Sith Assassin. We have a lot of questions about Kreia. I don't know what all these unknown force powers are. I'll be completely honest with you. I know 3 of them. Like, for sure, I know 3 of them. I don't know about the other 2. Or the other 1, 2, 3... 3. Ew. Oh. That is a new weapon on me. Like, I'm not familiar with that one. Remember how I pointed out that stealth ability? Sith Assassin! I wonder if it's the Sonic Imprint quest is still active. Nope. Wait. Return? Yep. In my head, that's a giant tree, but I know it's a rock.
What in space is going on? Who's this? Another Jedi? What, did you guys suddenly start breeding when I wasn't looking?
We are women. There's no time to explain. Grab a weapon and follow me.
Alright. I'm guessing that Republic ship that just docked isn't carrying friends of yours.
I hope your talent for understatement is offset by your skill with a blaster. If not, then I fear our time together
You my
is short
droid.
indeed.
Yeah, and I'm also good at running and drinking, Your Majesty. And even if you two aren't big friends of the Republic, that warship's the only way off this station.
Atten has joined your party. As long as he isn't the last party member standing, he can't be knocked out, and his saving throws improve the more he's wounded.
Good thing we have a clear run to the ship.
Threat. Master, perhaps I did not enunciate clearly the last time we spoke. I suggested that you should shut down, stay put, and wait for rescue.
No, you were clear. I just don't listen to assassin droids.
Clarification. Assassin droid is such a crude term, Master, reserved for Durasteel drones uploaded with only the most archaic kill programs. The function I perform has been referred to as wanton slaughter. I prefer to see it as a means of facilitating communication, resulting in the termination of hostilities.
Whatever you say, murder still means murder to me.
Correction. I am not here to argue semantics, Master, so I will simply inform you that you are wrong, as were those recently corrected miners.
Are you the one who killed the miners in the medical bay?
Indignant answer. Master, the miners intended to place you in jeopardy. I could not allow that to take place, so I was forced to negotiate a termination of hostilities. After reprogramming the mining droids to mine any organics they perceived, they began to kill the miners one by one. Then a series of flawlessly timed explosions drove the miners into their dormitories, where I was able to gas them all at once without wasting time hunting them through the mining tunnels. I then administered a large dose of sedatives to the remaining miners in the med bay, enough to kill them, but ensure you slept peacefully. Of course, against my calculations, you awakened from your tank prematurely. I am ashamed by the inconvenience that caused for both of us.
And so you ordered the mining droids to kill me.
Answer? You misunderstand me, Master. Those droids were there to guard you. As I said, I did not anticipate you awakening from the tank. You are quite a hardy specimen for a Jedi. A Ronto among humans, if you will indulge me the metaphor. Besides, as you proved, Master, such droids could never pose a threat to a Jedi. The droids were custodial in nature, cleaning the facility of other distractions.
Why did you want to capture me?
Answer. It is beyond the scope of my programming to probe the motivations of my clients, Master. Suffice to say that I am being well compensated for my services. You have been a difficult target to find. You have been wandering the galaxy since the end of the Mandalorian Wars, leaving little record of your passage. It is as if you did not wish to be found by hunters such as myself, or more likely, the Jedi Order.
Who is this client of yours?
Chiding answer. My programming renders me incapable of revealing the identity of my client, Master. However, I am free to say that my client is wealthy and very interested in possessing the last of the Jedi.
So what now? Are you going to kill me?
Answer. No, Master. Killing you was never the intention. If you resist my attempts to return you to your kotor tank, however, I may inadvertently fracture your skeleton in several places to incapacitate you.
I don't want to fight you, but I will if you leave me no other choice.
Resignation. Very well, Master. If inflicting pain is the only means to resolve this matter...
Oh, sick! Krea's stick goes away. If the world is kind and good, then these droids will help me.
I hear. I hear you.
Actually, no, I probably should have kept Korea with the...
What is it?
I say the word. Let's settle this.
Sailing master.
What is it?
I hear you.
My poor robot. But that's okay. Everybody else is a good boy. You're just such good boys. Yeah, good boys. Intero minute fine.
I hear you.
You sound like my therapist.
Just say the word.
Something is wrong. I sense no one on board.
You sense no one on board? Sense any assassin droids creeping up behind us like last time?
Everyone here has been slain, yet there are few signs of battle. No carbon scoring, no blaster fire. This place has been hit by assassins of a different sort.
Then what are we doing on this ship? We were better off in the facility. You two are supposed to be Jedi? You two are the worst Jedi I've ever met.
Calm down. We need a plan, not accusations.
If the assassin machine was correct, then we cannot reach the hangar. Be silent. I need some time to think.
I saw this vessel dock. When it did, a fuel pipe entered the fuel depot, behind the force field.
Look, I don't mean to cast another shadow on this, but even if you could reach the ship you came in on, it wouldn't matter. You'll need the orbital drift charts to clear the Paragus asteroid field, unless you want to have the shortest flight out of Paragus ever recorded.
We survive Paragus, we can take control of this ship.
Oh, you mean with the huge crew we brought along with us? That's a brilliant idea.
Wait, how did the Harbinger get the orbital drift charts? It would need to dock here.
Well, of course they have the asteroid drift charts in their Navicomputer. They'd have to.
So let's get their codes then. Then we can worry about reaching the Ebon Hawk.
Well, we'd have to get to the bridge. I mean, well, that's the biggest problem I can see.
That is a sound plan for the moment. Let us go.
Now, this is unique to KOTOR 2. Now that you have a party, certain actions and dialogue responses will increase or decrease your influence with your companions, depending on their personalities. Some respect cruelty, while others may respect nobility, loyalty, cleverness, brute force, and so on. The higher your influence with a companion, the more your alignment affects theirs. An extreme high and low influence with a companion can open up additional dialogue choices. There are benefits to both, so treat them as you will.
Our enemies gather while we wait here.
This is your first opportunity. Forgive me, Kreia. I was distracted for a moment. I'll be more mindful of the present.
Very well.
And with that, I am actually very hungry. So I'm going to save the game. And leave you with that.